Think of words on a page like cars on a busy highway. Without traffic signals, ideas start crashing into each other, creating total chaos. Punctuation provides the stop signs, the yield warnings, and the green lights that keep your thoughts flowing smoothly. We are going to practice this right now. This is a punctuation workout. I'll give you a series of raw sentences, and you will help me fix them. Let's start with the absolute baseline. Take a look at this first problem from the text. Georgia went to Manchester with her aunt, Miss Emily. Right now, this is a flat, continuous string of letters. First, we identify the proper nouns. We capitalize the G in Georgia, the M in Manchester, and the M and E for Miss Emily. Finally, we drop in a full stop at the very end so the reader knows the idea is finished. Capital letters tell us who or what is important, and full stops tell us when to breathe. These two marks form the bare minimum infrastructure required to make written language decipherable. Now we introduce a new layer of complexity: dialogue. When a reader includes direct speech, they have to visually separate the speaker's exact words from the surrounding narrative. Look at this sentence. "Would you care for some coffee?" said Vikram. The spoken words bleed into the action, making it difficult to parse. Pause the video here. Try to punctuate this yourself, paying close attention to what Vikram is speaking. We use quotation marks to enclose the spoken words, and there is a strict rule here. The first letter inside those quotes must always be capitalized, so the lowercase w in would becomes a capital W. Because Vikram is asking a question, we add a question mark. Crucially, that terminal mark goes inside the closing quotation marks. The speaker attribution continues the main sentence, so said stays lowercase, while the proper noun Vikram gets a capital letter and a final full stop. Quotation marks create a protective bubble around dialogue. They enforce their own internal grammatical rules, entirely separate from the wider sentence. Let's move on to the colon. In writing, a colon acts as a grammatical drumroll. It announces to the reader that a list or a detailed explanation is arriving immediately. Here is a sentence from our next exercise. Ramesh and his wife had prepared a variety of delicacies for their housewarming party. Paneer tikka. Pause the video and scan the text. Find the exact pivot point where the introduction ends and the list begins. The setup concludes exactly after the word party. That is where we drop the colon, creating a clear visual division between the introductory clause and the itemized list. A colon gives the reader a visual cue to expect a payoff. It takes a complete introductory thought and connects it directly to the items that fulfill it. Finally, we reach the boss level of punctuation, the semicolon. This is a hybrid mark used specifically to connect two distinct, fully independent sentences that share a close conceptual relationship. Take a look at this problem. It is likely to rain, carry an umbrella. Read strictly as written, it is a run-on sentence. Pause here one last time. Try to locate the fracture point where this text actually contains two entirely separate thoughts. The text naturally breaks into two distinct halves. It is likely to rain and carry an umbrella. Because both halves could stand alone as complete sentences, we link them by dropping a semicolon right in the middle. Here is a visual cheat sheet consolidating what we practiced today. We have the baseline infrastructure of capitals and full stops, the protective bubble of quotation marks, the drum roll of the colon, and the structural link of the semicolon. Mastering these four mechanics gives you complete control over how an audience experiences your information. You dictate exactly when they pause, what they anticipate, and how they connect your ideas.